welcome to Arty Makes. I'm going to show you how to make these little characters today. These are kind of like straw friends, I suppose. Not quite sure what to call them, I'll have a think about that. So you put a straw through the character and then you can put the character on the rim of your glass so it stops your straw from disappearing and sinking into your drink if you've got a tall glass. So they're quite useful and also quite decorative. So far I've made a snowman and a reindeer, and I think I need to make a Santa. So that's what I'm going to show you how to make in a moment. So for this, you will need some small pieces of paper or card, some straws, something to draw with, a ruler, some colours, and that could be pencils or pens, rubber, scissors, and some decorations. So let's start with these small pieces of card. I've made them about 7 centimetres by 10 centimetres. So they're not massive, and the reason I've made them that size is so that they fit and divide really onto a sheet of A4 paper. So you can make a few of these in one go if you wanted to. So they fit 3 along the width, and then you can fit another 3 along the side. So you can end up with 9 of these if you wanted to from one sheet of paper, or you can just use scraps. Okay, so I'm actually going to show you how to make a Christmas tree, because you must have been thinking, why have you got a green one? Santa's not green. Well, I thought we'd start with something a little bit simpler than Santa. So what you'll need for this one is a scrap piece of paper to actually start your design on. So this is so you can make your tree symmetrical. So you're going to get your scrap of paper and you're going to fold it in half, and you're going to draw a simple Christmas tree along the side like that. So it's nothing special, is it? Just a very simple half Christmas tree. Then if you draw some guidelines along there, those are going to be where you're going to cut your holes for your straw. So you can cut this out. I've sped this up just because you don't need to see me cutting. But once you've opened it out, you should have a symmetrical tree. Now, if you want to, you can adjust this. I have done in this one because I didn't think it was sort of swishy enough. I don't know if that's the right word, but swishy enough as a Christmas tree. So I'm just cutting into mine just a little bit more and giving it a slight more sway in the angles, like making them less straight. And that will just make my Christmas tree look a little bit more, well, how I want it to really. And this should fit on your green piece of paper like that. And then you can draw around that. And then what you need to do is just find where to put the marks for your straw. So I suggest about 1 centimetre from the bottom. Then use your ruler again to measure about 7 millimetres in. Now your straw might be a different size to mine, but that worked for me, so you might have to experiment. Now when you do the top of your Christmas tree, one hole, if you like, that's the right word, isn't it, hole, make sure that there'll be enough card either side. That's why I've moved mine up a little bit, so it's nearer the top, nearer a wider part of the cardboard. So you're going to transfer these marks onto your real one from your template. So just bend the top over like that, draw the mark, bend the bottom over like that, add the mark, and then flip it over and do the same on the other side. Now, if you wanted to make more of these Christmas tree ones, you've now got a template that you can use to make some more. So you can make a whole forest of these straw decorations. Right, so get your scissors out and cut this out. I've obviously sped this up again. I'm not really that quick at cutting things out. I think that would be dangerous. I'm going to keep that scrap because I might use that for something else. Now, you'll notice you'll have a clean side, which is this side. That's going to be the side you'll see, and the side with your marks on it. So that will be the back. So you need to fold your tree in half very gently because you don't really want to make a crease. But if you cut along that line, that should be enough to make a hole big enough for your straw, and then do the same on the top one. The tree straw decoration is nearly done. It's just a case of adding it to your straw. So starting on one side, on the small side, you're just going to pop it inside like that through the the hole. Be gentle because you don't want to tear it. If you need to, you can make your slit a little bit bigger by cutting into it a little bit more, but gently push that through. And now your straw looks like the stem of the tree. That's the idea anyway. So I'm going to stick some sparkly stars on mine, but if you wanted to draw decorations on or use something else, that would be fine. And that's it. So let's start on our Santa. So I'm going to start by using the white piece of card here, and I'm going to find the middle of it. Now it's 7 centimetres wide, so 3.5 centimetres is the middle. So just draw a very light line down the centre. This is so you can make the slits for the straw right down the middle. Now I recommend doing the slits about 1.5 centimetres down from the top, 6 centimetres down from the top, and 8.5 centimetres down from the top, like all of them. And just as before, if you measure in about 7 millimetres from one side, that should be enough, because of course 7 times 2 is 14, so that would be about 14 millimetres or 1.4 centimetres. That should be big enough, but again, your straw might be a different size to mine. Right, now it's a case of sketching on our picture. Now we've got to make sure that that middle one looks like Father Christmas's mouth. So if I draw his head about there with a circle guideline, that will help. And I'm going to put his moustache above that line, so his mouth will be below it. You get the idea, don't you? So I'm going to try and draw symmetrically, which is quite tricky. So here's the other side of his moustache. Then I'm going to go and do his beard, like that, make it a nice bushy beard. And you'll be only be able to see a little bit of that once the straw's in. So just his cheeks there, like that. And then we'll move on to his hat. So I'm just doing a curved line from the sides of his face there, and that will be the rim of his hat, like that, the furry bit. And I'll be able to fix any lines I'm not happy with in a moment when I use my pen. So there's the pom-pom on his hat, like that. May not have left enough space there, but I think it still sort of works. Right, and then I think we need some features. He's enjoying his drink, so happy closed eyes, like that, a little nose, and then his arms. I'm going to make it look like he's holding the straw. So that line there where the straw comes out, because it will come out there, I'm going to put his mittened gloves. I like drawing mittens, they're much easier than drawing hands, so I like it when a character has mittens on. There's the cuffs of his coat, and then I'm actually going to make this look a bit odd because his arms are going to look like they're almost spaghetti, a bit like the Snowman's and Rudolph's here. So that's the hole where the straw comes out. So what I did next was I used a fine liner to draw over my pencil lines, and then I started to colour them in. Now this Santa is different to the snowman and the reindeer if you look very carefully, because the reindeer and the snowman were actually, I used paper that was appropriate for their colours. So I used some brown paper, or brown card I think it was actually, to make the reindeer there. And then I stuck on a red nose. I did use some black pen to make the antlers and draw on the details. Not the antlers, these hooves. And then as for the snowman, I used white card and I used a blue line to make him look frosty. So getting back to Santa, what I'm doing now is I'm cutting out the outside of him, which is nice and straightforward. And then I need to cut out his arms. So the way I did this was I folded it in half, cut a little slit like that so I could put the blade of my scissors inside, and then I can carefully cut that line out too. So this takes a little bit of care, but it is worth it, so just take that nice and slow. What I need to do next is cut out the holes in his mouth and his hat so that the straw can go in and out. So I'm just going to cut along the line that I made, and again there, and he's ready to test out. So you grab a straw and you put it through his arms, in his mouth like that, and then weave it back through so it comes out of his hat. So there is Santa, looking like he's drinking my drink, cheeky Father Christmas. And he can sit on the edge of a glass like that so he doesn't sink into the drink. So these are the ones that I've made. There's lots of other Christmassy things that you could make too. Gingerbread men, elves, all that kind of stuff. So have a go at making them. If you make a character, I would suggest following that principle with the hole for the arms. These characters are all subtly different if you look. Now the Christmas tree is probably the easiest one, and then it's the snowman, and then reindeer and Santa. Now if you look at the reindeer, the straw doesn't come out back through his head. That just seemed to fit the design. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like it, subscribe to the channel, and come back for some more Arty Makes really soon. Take care. Bye bye.